These are my top 5 jiu-jitsu shorts for no gi. I've spent hours wearing and testing these on the mats, so I can give you an in-depth insight into which jiu-jitsu shorts are best for your training. I'm going to give you options within different budgets, but I'm also just going to give you what I think are the best features to look for within shorts and which brand gives you all of that, which will be in the #1 spot. As always, all the links will be down in the description and the first link in the comment if you wish to purchase any of these. So let's start with spot number 5. And we're coming in with the budget option. That is essentially near the top of Amazon if you search jiu-jitsu shorts, and that is Elite Sports BJJ shorts. Now, if you are looking to start jiu-jitsu, you're not sure if you want to stick with it, or you do just want something really cheap that you can start rolling with on the mats, these do a really good job. Here are some quick highlights of these. It has a relatively thick waistband, which is nice, and it does stretch, so you do have some movement there. You've also got the stretchy panel in the middle, so you're not going to get any rips near the groin. And you've got really solid stitching around the legs and in these gaps in between the legs too, so you're not going to have to worry about them tearing. Now, some of the features missing for a higher quality jiu-jitsu short is it does not have an anti-slip panel around the waist, so these can be prone to being pulled down because it does not have that. This is actually really kind of smooth fabric. And on top of that, the actual material, it's 100% polyester, but it is more clothes-like. You're not going to have that sweat wicking effect. So these are just going to get really heavy as you start to roll in them and as you start to sweat. But outside of that, if you just want to spend $20 on a pair of shorts, then these will be your budget option. So let's move on to number 4. I believe this one is a top Amazon seller too. It is by Gold BJJ. They actually do really nice rash guards, actually. I'll have a review of that coming out eventually. But in terms of their shorts, I'm not entirely sold on them. Now, I will say they do have other models of their shorts. And if you are going to buy Gold BJJ shorts, this is their cheaper one that comes in around $36. I would not buy these ones. I would buy the other ones. And there's a couple of reasons for that. The material on these is really thin. They remind me of just soccer shorts or any kind of field sport based shorts. And the material on them sticks to my feet when I put them on. I don't know what it is with these. It just does that. I mean, I have rough feet, so that's probably half the reason. But it doesn't happen to any other shorts. Only happens with these ones. But outside of that, the material is very thin, even thinner than the Elite Sports one that was in number 5. And maybe you can see here, even when I stretch it, you can kind of see through the shorts. So that's kind of how thin that material is. So it obviously has a little more stretch than the Elite Sports one, which gives you a little more freedom. So it kind of depends what you want. But because of that, these have a lot of stretch because the fabric's a lot thinner. And instead of being 100% polyester, it obviously has some spandex in there for that. Now, for the waist, you do have a drawstring as well, like in the Elite Sports one. But this drawstring kind of protrudes through, as you can see in this shot here. So that can be a little bit of a pain. And the waistband isn't as thick. So whether you like a thinner or a thicker waistband is kind of going to be personal preference anyway. Now, because the whole short and the material is relatively stretchy, you don't actually have the stretch panel in the groin area, just because the whole shorts are like that. Now, these are a little long as well. So if you like your longer jiu-jitsu shorts, then these will do the trick. Now, for $35, I think you can potentially go for the more budget versions anyway. You'll probably get a similar, maybe slightly better short, or you can look to spend a little more and get a high quality jiu-jitsu short. But regardless, this is about middle of the range price. If you're looking for something in that range, Gold Jiu-Jitsu, I would actually go with the other ones, but this one, the cheaper one on Amazon, still works for your no-gi jiu-jitsu. So number 3 brings in the higher end jiu-jitsu shorts. By higher, I mean, I'm talking $80. These are the Hayabusa Icon Fight shorts. Now they have short, or I guess mid-thigh versions of these, which I actually wish I had. These are the just, I guess, normal knee length shorts. So if you like longer shorts, these can do a good job. Now I will say the build quality on these is really damn good. I mean, you're paying $80 for them, so it better be good. The stitching is really, really nice. It's like a flat lock stitch. And then the slits in the legs are probably one of the most durable that I've seen here, where you're not going to see any tears if it gets stuck while you're rolling. Now it does have the premium feature of having an anti-slip waistband, a gel waistband, which means they're not going to fall down during hard rolls. You have a little drawstring in the front. Now, one thing I do not like in any jiu-jitsu shorts is this Velcro in the front. Now, this Velcro doesn't really get in the way. I've had issues with previous shorts with Velcro where if it's not attached properly and it actually rubs against your skin, it gave me a really bad rash on my stomach from it. And it's just uncomfortable to me because obviously the Velcro doesn't stretch. So it doesn't stretch in the front, it only stretches around the sides. So I will say, for an $80 short, it is missing a few key things that I would really like. However, the quality is really damn good into the short. Now, you're not going to have any stretch in the short itself. As you can see here, has very little give. Has none this way, but obviously the fibers run this way, so you get a little bit of stretch there. But outside of that, you're not going to have any stretch. So if you want shorts that have a very large slit, so this goes right up near to the top of your thighs to allow you the movement because the shorts don't stretch, then these can be good options. However, I think there are better options than the Hayabusa Icon shorts, especially for the price and for the features that you're after. So let me bring you to number 2, and that is XMartial. Now, you've probably seen XMartial around. They have the funkiest designs you'll find, really cool options on there. And on top of that, a really high quality jiu-jitsu short. Now, they've actually gone through a few different iterations I'm going to show you now. The first iteration had some of the features that I didn't quite like the Hayabusa shorts. The Velcro on the front, so there's no stretch. It did have this somewhat anti-slip waistband on there, and then it did have the stretchy groin area in this. This was the first iteration of their shorts. Still comfortable and pretty solid. Then they moved to their 1.0 hybrid short, which is kind of like this. They got rid of the anti-slip waistband and made a really stretchy waistband. I also haven't had any problems with these falling down, regardless. They still have the stretch part in the middle for the groin. I will say the way that it was stitched in the leg slits, one of my shorts ended up ripping when it got caught in training. But outside of that, these are pretty quality shorts and they stretch really well. I will say these were quite a bit thicker. They've kind of upgraded to these 2.0. So if you are buying shorts from XMartial, make sure you get the 2.0 hybrids. I think everything now is 2.0 on there anyway, but it's a much thinner material and the stitching is really damn solid on these. I've even reinforced the leg part where it ripped on my 1.0s. They've reinforced it here with an extra piece of material, so you're not going to have that same problem. Now, you still don't have an anti-slip waistband, but I have not had any problems with these falling down in training, and I train in these often. And you do have a drawstring if you need to pull it tighter. Now, these are a very nice length because these are mid-thigh, so you're going to show a lot of leg, and you have a lot of freedom of movement. Now, again, there's some stretch in these. There's not a lot, but the fact that they're mid-thigh, you're not going to need a lot of stretch anyway because you're going to have a lot of freedom of movement. Now, you are looking at anywhere from $50 to $80 for these jiu-jitsu shorts. Now, they often have deals going on. You also have a discount code that will be down in the description. That'll save you some money too on top of a lot of the different sales. But if you're looking for a really cool design and a high-quality jiu-jitsu short and it's about mid-thigh, then these are a good option. Which brings me to the number 1 jiu-jitsu short. And that are these new ones from revgear. Now, typically you don't think of revgear as a top jiu-jitsu brand, but they've just recently come out with what they call their Grizzly line. And these shorts are absolutely banging. They have all the features that you would want in a high quality jiu-jitsu short, and the material is damn solid. You're not going to have any problems with rips with these. So let's cover the first one. We have an anti-slip waist panel. This is the thickest waistband you will find on a jiu-jitsu short, and I've tried a ton of them. It makes them super comfortable. You have the drawstring in the front if you need to make it tighter, but you also have this little panel in the front too. So instead of it being Velcro that doesn't stretch, you have a little bit of like elastic here on the front. So you don't have anything stopping you from bending forward, like sometimes you have with Velcro, which there's problems that I've had in the past. Now you have really high quality flat lock stitching throughout the entire shorts. And you also have the stretchy panel around the groin, so you're not going to get any tears down there either. And you have the small side slits, again, all flat lock stitched. Now, if you prefer mid-thigh shorts, revgear does not have these in mid-thigh cut. So these will be slightly longer, but they're still not as long as some of the other ones, like the Hayabusa shorts. Those are probably the longest jiu-jitsu shorts you'll find. But in terms of quality, and that goes from the material to the stitching to the features, this is your best jiu-jitsu short, in my opinion, that you'll find for no gi. Now, it comes in at $60 for these shorts, and you're paying for the quality. Considering the Hayabusas at $80, XMartial was on average $60, depending on whether you're getting on sale or not. You're actually getting a pretty damn good deal on these particular shorts. They have different colors, so you can choose whatever design to your heart's content. Now, if this review was helpful for you, please subscribe, like this video, let me know down in the comments if I missed any shorts. And if I did miss any shorts, I will do individual reviews on those shorts for you. I'll also have individual reviews of these shorts up on the channel soon. And stay tuned for more reviews.